Boot sequence initiated. Greetings, Guardians. Accessing lore archives.
Exalted Truth. It's the end of the world. We don't have another choice. Ikora Ray. This is the story of a fireteam that was first introduced in Season of the Hunt and has since made appearances in many lore entries. The fireteam consists of Aisha, a human hunter, Breed 7, an exo-titan, and Shayura, an awoken warlock. There are different references to this fireteam. The Wild Hunt armor sets recount their activity in Old Chicago and a mysterious creature. The Ferric Ascent armor sets describe the team dynamics and events during Trials of Osiris, and we get more insight into each member in various weapons, which you can see with their respective names. I want to focus on Shayura as she becomes significantly more notable. Being lightless during the Red War has deeply impacted her. When the Black Fleet first arrived, she had to leave Sloane behind and conflicted with her fireteam. This led her to question her worth as a guardian and filled her with conviction to hunt those straying from the light. Since then, Shayura has been responsible for numerous final deaths of stasis-wielding guardians. She had to be stopped by Aisha using stasis herself, and then she was imprisoned by the Vanguard. During the Endless Night, she escaped and deemed her fireteam and Vanguard as traitors. Shayura began ruthlessly hunting any agent of darkness until she came across Lucent Hive, which shattered her whole worldview and left her at almost a catatonic state. She now suffers from severe PTSD and is consumed by guilt. She was placed in a detention facility in the last city. I exalt our forebears. A foot-thick steel security door swings open into a brightly lit foyer, and the warlock Shayura is escorted through in manacles by a pair of armed frames. I exalt my fire team. Ikora Ray stands on a turquoise and gold mosaic at the center of the foyer. The detention facility frames present Shayura, then release her wrist restraints. Ikora looks Shayura in the eye and sees shame and doubt reflected. Do you understand why we're doing this? Ikora asks. I exalt my truth. Shayura nods, bringing her wrists where the manacles had bitten into them. Ikora dismisses the frames with a wordless gesture, keeping her attentions on Shayura. We are in an unprecedented crisis, one I am loath to put you into when there is both healing and justice yet to be delivered. I exalt my heart. I know, Shayura says, and casts her eyes downward. The older warlock places a firm hand on her shoulder, and in her mentor's eyes, she sees the same shame and doubt in her own heart looking back. I exalt humanity's capacity for love. For a time, there is silence and stillness, mutual understanding, empathy. I am releasing you to your fireteam on a provisional basis, for specific emergency operations only. Otherwise, you are to report to Dr. Uzair to continue your sessions. When this is all over, then we'll talk about justice. This above all else. Shayura's shoulders tremble, and Ikora pulls her into a brief embrace. Thank you, Shayura whispers. I hold true. So what we can see is that Ikora Ray is reluctantly releasing Shayura from a detention facility. This is where her quote comes in about the end of the world coming and being left with no choice. Considering everything that Shayura has done, this shows how dire things are with the Witness's imminent arrival before Lightfall and needing every single guardian able to fight. Still, Ikora is wary about releasing Shayura and plans to enact justice she deserves for all the killings, which means Shayura might still have some role to play in the future.
Guardians, like and subscribe to initiate support and growth functions.